Hello, everyone. As you all know, my name is Flyneapple. Please join me as we delve further into the wonderful world of Firo, here on the Firo Frontier. As we mentioned last week, today we will be continuing our conversation about Masternodes. Before, we were giving a general background on what they are and the motivations behind them. This time, we're diving straight into the juicy stuff. How do you host a masternode? At the time of recording, there are 4 main ways to host a masternode. We're going to go through them individually and then have a nice, quaint summary at the end. The 4 ways to host a masternode are as follows: self-hosted, provider-hosted, Binance-locked staking, and Stakehound stFIRO. Let's break them all down. Number 1, self-hosting a masternode. The name is quite descriptive. You, yourself, are the host of this masternode. The 1000 Firo collateral comes entirely from you. Before trying to host, make sure you have the most up-to-date wallet. The main thing that you'll need is a VPS, or Virtual Private Server. There are many different providers. Here are the 4 listed on Firo's website. When selecting a package, you'll need to make sure that there are some minimum requirements met. Quick note, even though it says 55 gigabytes of disk space, we would recommend at least 100. And just in case you're feeling like being a little cheap, a VPS's reliability is much more important than the price tag. If it goes offline, you could miss a payout. Once you have the VPS, you'll have some configuration you need to do, but we're not going to cover it all in this video. If self-hosting appeals to you, we've got a full rundown on how to get started step by step on our website. The link is in the description below, by the way. But be warned, it does require some background knowledge in SSH terminals and/or Linux. And if that sounds intimidating, then self-hosting might not be for you, which is fine. There are 3 more types after all. Number 2, provider-hosted masternodes. Just in case it's confusing, we're not referring to a VPS provider. On the Firo website, we have a list of masternode providers. Please note that we do not endorse or recommend any of them. As far as we're concerned, these are just groups of people that said they performed the job, so it's necessary for you to research which provider would be best. The most significant difference between provider-hosted and self-hosted is who has the server. This is a substantial advantage in that you don't need the knowledge it takes to run a node yourself. The provider owns the server, and thus hosts the masternode. They do most of the technical stuff under the hood for you. Depending on the provider though, you'll be required to do some things like certain signing functions, but nothing compared to what you'd have to do if self-hosting. Please note, while they are hosting the masternode, the 1000 Firo collateral never leaves your wallet. You can delegate some controls to the hoster, but you can revoke such power at any time. So this affords a nice balance of retaining control while letting someone else take care of the day-to-day maintenance. The third method is Binance-locked staking. We mentioned this a few weeks back actually. You all know Binance, one of the leading crypto exchanges. Well, they're also in the business of hosting masternodes. There are a few key differences between this method and the normal provider nodes, however. First, unlike the previous 2 options, you don't need the whole 1000 Firo. Instead, you need a minimum of 100 Firo. The second difference is that when you stake this Firo, it is locked for 30 days. While you can take it back halfway through that period, you will lose accrued interest, and it may be a few days before Binance makes the funds available back to you. Regarding the partial collateral, Binance takes the Firo from everyone who subscribes to the Firo locked staking product and pools it together to set up several masternodes. Of course, this means that the reward you would get from the blockchain would be proportional to your invested amount. Furthermore, Binance does charge fees for their services, so you will get less rewards than if you host it on your own. And last but not least is Stakehound's stFIRO. For those of you who aren't aware of what stFIRO is, that's another full video entirely. For now, think of stFIRO as a way for Firos to be represented on Ethereum's blockchain. I can exchange my normal Firo for stFIRO at a 1-to-1 rate and vice versa through Stakehound. stFIRO functions like any other ERC20 token on Ethereum. When you give your Firo, Stakehound issues these stFIRO tokens to you in exchange. Similar to Binance, they use the Firo you gave to host Masternodes. Unlike Binance lock staking, because stFIRO is backed by masternoded Firo, you can trade fractional portions of masternodes easily and have them participate actively in DeFi platforms such as decentralized exchanges or lending platforms. Unlike the 3 previous methods, stFIRO makes masternodes liquid, whereas the previous options meant you need to break your masternodes to trade, and you can't trade fractional amounts. Whew! That was a lot of material, and to be honest, there's so much more that we could say. To help you out though, we went through the trouble of making a table that summarizes what we talked about today. However, we strongly encourage you to do more research on your own and find which method would work best for you and your situation. As always, we'll leave a couple relevant links in the description. The more you know, the more you grow, after all. If you were hoping for more specific information, definitely stop by the Firo forum and ask questions. Or you can leave a comment below. Also, you liking and subscribing would be very appreciated. I hope this was helpful, and I hope to help you all next week as well, because I'm aimed to please and I'm pleased to aim. This is Flying Apple, signing off.